This is the podcast. Yaman's not here. It's just me and Pena.
This is Pena.
I already did it. I'm not going to say my name again.
Fuck you. Work was fucking... Being an adult, or close enough to an adult, I'm figuring out kind of sucks.
Was it a person that made you suffer?
The thing is
or
that...
was it just work?
It's not like someone, like, yelled at me at work and, like, had this dramatic blowout or anything. It's more just, like, a sense of, oh, I fucked up and I'm an idiot. You know? Like...
What did you do?
I guess the main thing was that I'm leaving this weekend and I'm not going to get back until Friday night, so obviously I can't go into work on Friday. And I told them that today, and they were kind of perturbed that I didn't give them an official 2 weeks notice. And I'm like, oh, I guess that's a thing in the real world. Which,
dude, you didn't do that?
Well, okay. Well, here's the other thing in my defense. When I took a day off before, a few weeks ago, I let them know, like, way ahead of time. And one of my bosses responded, oh, yeah, that's fine. If you just let me know, like, the day before or something, like, you're good. I was like, oh. So
this is a little different. You're leaving for, what, permanently now, right?
No, I'm leaving for a day. This is a day off. This is not me leaving permanently.
What the fuck?
Yeah.
And you let them know today?
I let them know today, yeah.
And when are you leaving? I'm
not going to be in work on Monday. Which is the...
What the fuck is their problem?
Yeah. So I don't know. I will admit that it was... I'll take fault for it. Like, I'm not blaming anyone else. I'm not blaming anyone else, but
there's a bit of confusion.
Yeah, there was a bit of confusion, I guess. And so that kind of bummed me out for the day. And then I got I didn't get like a talking to per se, but it was just like a, hey, you know, so like, this is how things work and you should have done this. So just going forward, do that. And I was like, oh, okay. And it was just that like recognition that I like fucked up in some way, like kind of brought me down for the rest of the day. Then I made some other like small mistakes, like typos and other stuff. And I don't know, it's just kind of that mental state that kind of is a snowball, like turns into like an avalanche in your head, you know? We just keep fucking up in a million different small ways until you're just... I don't know how to describe it. Until you're just kind of sours your whole day, basically. After
because you feel
dwell
like
on
an
it too
adult
much.
at the job, and then you sort of have this more of like, not naivety, but I know what you're talking about, where you sort of feel like you've been, oh man, everybody thinks I'm a stupid child.
Yeah, 100. Yeah, that's exactly it. I literally think like most of the time I think, I don't know how I'm getting by in this. Like, everyone seems to know exactly what they're doing and to, like, be in the flow of it. And here I am coming in like a fucking idiot, like an elephant in a china shop, just being like, do you need help? Can you help me figure this out? And I'm just like...
And you do it a voice, but my tone in my voice is usually, like, here when I'm most comfortable.
Yeah.
If for some... It doesn't happen as much anymore, but it used to be that if I felt like I'd done something wrong and I was being persecuted... by whoever, if they were like an authority figure, anybody above me, an older person, anything, I would just sort of like talk like this, and I'm sorry. I don't know why I would react like that. I thought for a while that I had multiple personality disorder because I had like so many different voices for different people.
Yeah,
it's annoying.
And I kind of try to put on like a stern like poker face while they're talking to me, but like inside my heart is like sinking, and I was like, wow, I'm like never going to be allowed back inside this building after this is done.
Everybody sees how bad I am. I walked into work without my pants on.
But
I'm sure no one cares.
I'm probably overblowing it, but
it happened to you, so it feels like it's the end of the world.
Yeah, exactly. And I'm sure to like an outside observer, like it's not a huge deal at all. Like to them, it probably like didn't even register, like in their day, probably, you know.
That conversation that they had with you, though, tells me that you're in good standing with them because they were like, oh, well, yeah, just, you know, make sure it doesn't happen again. You know, that kind of thing tells you that you have a good track record because it's the first time that, you know, they're bringing this up to you.
That's a good point, I guess. But yeah. So it's just like little things like that can kind of bring down your whole day, and it was just a lot. But anyways, as soon as I got home, made myself some nice pasta, had a good...
You made it sound so much worse
drink.
Over text.
Well, it was like a collective of like small fuck ups that just like really like kind of ruined my day, and things were
But
like
that was the big one.
really busy in the office. That was the thing that kind of like kicked it off. That was like, because I got talked to at the beginning of the day by one of my bosses, and then I was like, oh shit, okay, sorry, and I already felt kind of bad about it. And then after the matter was done, this was like hours later, I got another talk to from another one of my bosses saying like, pretty much exactly the same thing. I think she was unaware that I was like already had been talked to. So that just kind of, the fact that she also came up to say something, I was
both your
like,
parents.
Yeah, literally like both my parents were mad at me, and I was like, oh man, I really fucked this one up, didn't I?
And did you almost want to say, oh, I've already been talked to about this?
You
wanted to, right?
I was about to say that, and then when she said, she said a similar line to what my previous boss said, and I was like, oh yeah, so and so mentioned this previously, but she just kind of kept going. So
yeah, so it's good that you didn't say, oh, he's already talked to me. She would have been like, I know, I just want to make things clear.
Yeah, so I didn't know if she already knew that I had been talked to, or if she felt
stressful.
the need to like double down on it, which I don't know which one is worse. Probably definitely the second one. But yeah, it's just like a mental thing, man. Like there's so much fucking pressure, and I just feel like I'm a fucking idiot.
Loser, idiot, stupid, dumb asshole.
Like, yeah. I mean, I'm lucky there's like other people around me that I feel much more comfortable with, but that's because they're only like a few years older than me, so it's not as like serious, you know. But
I don't have that at all.
That was about it. That was kind of what was dragging my day down.
I have people that work above me in my like hands-on job that just sort of, I forget that I don't know why, but like in the recent years, or sort of developed a defense mechanism that I treat everybody the same way, and I have to sort of forget that I have to talk very flowery, you know, to people who are above me. But I don't know, it's just this reflex to say something sarcastic, and I can't stop myself. And it's not like I'm saying like, oh, I fucking put him down with this hilarious joke. It's usually just something weirdly cutting that isn't funny, but I just sort of like, I don't know why I do it. It's really, really stupid, because it's probably going to prevent me from, you know, getting better jobs and better pay.
Like, do you just like, I can imagine you making it way too personal, way too quick without even thinking about it. They're like, hey, Patrick, you did a really bad job at this. And you're like, fuck you, your mom did a really bad job at raising you, bitch.
No.
It's like, maybe if your mom did a better job at raising you, you know?
Do you ever get comfortable at work and then you start to talk about the same like weird, dark, fucked up shit that you would with your friends?
This happened to me in my last internship, yeah.
You start to talk to, like, you find some people who share that sort of sense of humor, and then you're all sort of talking about some stuff, and then another person walks in and you finish whatever you were saying, then it just happens to be the fucked up part, and they're like, oh, what are you guys talking about in here? And it's just like, I don't have an explanation for why I was making a joke about a baby being set on fire, but you know, it's all just part of the humor and the camaraderie that we're trying to develop here. And it's just like, I'm going to talk to you for a little bit, all right?
This happened to me in my last internship, where I really connected with, I guess, my direct boss, who's just like this really cool guy who also had like a really sarcastic like sense of humor in the same way we do, and we just shoot the shit all the time. And I feel like other people in the office like could get annoyed by it when it got like too weird or too out of hand, because sometimes they'd be like, what are you guys even talking about? And then that would just make us laugh even harder and seem even more annoying. So, but it was fun because we were kind of in it together, and I don't know, overall I had a good relationship with everyone in that office, despite them sometimes thinking we were bunch of fucking goofballs.
One person I was talking to at work was like, are you Patrick Charlton 5 on Twitter, or is that somebody else? And I'm like, oh, that's me. And they were like, oh. And I was just like, why? And they were like, that person's insane. I thought that person is fucking insane. And I was just like, no. And he was like, what do your drafts look like? And I looked at them, and the top one right here is, from the perspective of Benjamin Franklin, here we go. I'm going to hang myself from this kite. Oh, wait. Oh, yeah, I better attach the key to the box I keep my will in to the string. Man, I really hope that oncoming storm front doesn't fuck this up, because if it does, I'm never trying again. And that made me laugh to the point where I was in pain in front of them, and they left the room and they haven't talked to me since.
That's really fucking funny.
That was great.
Wait,
it's just stupid.
Did you read that to them, and that's why they thought you?
They were like, "What's your top draft?" And I was like, "Benjamin Franklin." And then they were like, "What is it?" And I was just like, "Well, it's it's like what if Ben Franklin wasn't trying to perform some kind of kite experiment, seeing if lightning was conducted through electricity? What if he was trying to kill himself with a kite?" And just like the idea of him like narrating everything he's doing while he's setting this up. He's like, "All right, here we go. Gonna kill myself. Better put this key up here to make sure they know how to get into my will and suicide note."
Jesus Christ. Jesus Christ.
I almost said her name, but this person is still texting me.
Oh, yeah. I guess you can give like a brief background of
She used to work with us at Lifeguard Place.
Yeah, we probably mentioned her before, but
she's not insane or anything.
She's not insane, but I don't think she's all the way.
She's not all there.
Yeah, like she's missing a few screws maybe. And sometimes it's not noticeable, but other times it can be pretty noticeable.
She said, "Hey Patrick, how you been?" And that was at 12 p.m. today. And I slept a lot today because I had an early shift yesterday, so I just missed it. And then today I just texted her like right now, and it's 7:20 or something like that. And then I said, "Good." And then she said, "Well, great convo." And I was like, "Yep, that's the same person." And then I said, "What?" And then she said, "Do you know who this is just now?" What do you think I should say?
Say no.
My mom.
Say a completely different name. Like, just be like, Susan?
No, that's too close. What is it? Let me think of one, like Gerard Depardieu or something like that.
Ben Franklin?
The president.
No, because then she'll know you're
She
joking.
never appreciated sarcasm at all. She
never.
really didn't like that shit. Because, I don't know why, but for some reason I've started to really enjoy, like, I'm the greatest actor in the world. I'm not trying to say I'm the best, but I'm really good at just saying something very matter-of-factly. Sometimes. It doesn't always work, but I also do shifts for lifeguarding now. At my other pool because I still got my license and I like.
Dude, all the lifeguard kids in the audience can relate to that. We get so much lifeguard mail.
Our audience is like 100% lifeguards who smoke weed. And there's this guy, and every time that this comes up, anywhere I am, people suddenly spring into action asking me questions about being colorblind. And it happened to come up, and I was just like, "Yeah, I am." While I was doing readings to check the chlorine in the pool. Because you have to check the color and everything. It doesn't affect. It's not affected because the color is the same. It's not like you're comparing two things. Yeah. It wouldn't matter. Yeah. And I had to explain that to them, as I have for every lifeguarding job I've ever had. And this one guy said, "So what is it like?" And I said, completely matter-of-factly, and it's not even that funny. I just said, like, "Well, for one thing, water is completely black." And then he was like, "Really?" And I was like, "Yeah. It's actually really hard to see. So when people come out of the water, that's, the moment I can see them, I recognize them and try to make sure I'm, keeping track of everybody." I just explained it in such a way that made it so convincing to this, I'm sure, very smart person. And then he was like, "How are you a lifeguard? How did you pass the test?" It's like, it was really hard. I had to go under the water. I have these special goggles that I use as well that sort of counteract the effect. And then he was just like, "That sounds really hard." And there were two other people sitting in the room staring at him with huge smiles on their faces. It's just like, how the fuck? Why is he believing this? And then I almost said his name again. He was just like, "Are you sure? That sounds like a lie." And I'm like, "I'm not. Why would I lie about that?" And it went on for the rest of the day. And he kept like staring at me while I was up in the stand. And he was just like, "I don't." And you have to do spot checks for people. And there was this new rule where you have to do 2 every day for every shift. And someone did one on me, and I got a perfect score. And then Alex looked at it, and he was just like, "How did you get a perfect score if you don't know how to scan? If you're like you can't see through the water, that doesn't make any sense." And I'm like, "Alex, I lied to you. Why would that be true? How?" I almost got mad at him for how stupid he was being. It was such a stupid lie. I can't believe it lasted that long. But yeah, I do that all the time.
I thought he was gonna totally 100% believe you, and then he'd be like, "Wow, I really respect your courage and bravery. Like, thank you for serving the community. Respect the troops."
Yeah, that was pretty great.
Do you have to fill out on a form that you're colorblind? Is that like a medical
No,
disqualifying
because
thing?
it's not colorblind enough to matter for anything.
Okay, that's what I figured. So it's never gotten in the way of saving a life.
No.
You can still serve your country. I'm glad.
We actually got audited the other day.
By the IRS?
No, by the people who run the class that makes you a lifeguard.
Oh, like they wanted to see if you were legit or something?
They do this way more seriously than they do it at our pool. They will come in and not tell you they're there, and then have someone get in the water and pretend to drown, and then you're supposed to get them out. And if they're holding on their neck, you have to do a spinal, so you have to backboard them. They have so many scenarios, and we did that one day. We got them out all the way, and at the end of it, we passed, and we had to do, they moved them off the boards and put a dummy on so we could do actually CPR and all this stuff. And afterwards, they were like, all right, let's all take a picture together. There was a good, good thing. And I'm like, I'm good. And I walked away. And then they mentioned that it was kind of rude that I walked away. And I'm like, I don't want you to take a picture of me. Leave me alone. It's not required.
God.
So it just looks like two people did it.
What if you, know the person's faking because they're there to audit you, and you're just like, hey, stop faking it, idiot.
I said the president, and she said, how'd you know? So, she has a detective, brain. She can sense sarcasm. And then I said, I guessed. And then she said, well, I know just texting you. I know just texting you, see how you're doing. You're with one R and no E. And saying, I miss working summers with ya. She texts like an aunt.
That's weird. I mean...
I almost said I don't.
You should.
That would be really mean.
What do you have to
I'm a
lose?
bad person.
Your life, potentially.
I did it.
You did it. The weird thing about working with her was that
She was weird.
Sure, but I think that is owed an explanation where you're right in that she didn't like sarcasm. She didn't like a lot of jokes that we made. She was very into Disney princess stuff, completely unironically, which is weird,
Well, she was into Disney music, and I was okay with that. Disney music rocks, but she would get the usually had at the last year when we had David as a manager, he had a speaker in the middle of the table in the guard place, and she would always put on fucking Disney music.
I remember that. And then the weirdest thing, and this is the thing that would give me red flags about her, is that she would nonchalantly bring up some way too personal, difficult aspects of her life. And by difficult, I mean, she has gone through some shit or whatever.
Oh, yeah, she would do that. She would vent.
She would just drop that. It wasn't even, venting most of the time. It was just, stating it in a very matter-of-fact way. And then it would just kind of make everyone, kind of uncomfortable. And you'd be like,
Yeah.
I'm sorry that happened to you, but you're also... she just dropped it. She wasn't, looking for sympathy. She was just when I'm so tired that I had to come into work today because I spent all night in the hospital, helping my friend who almost died in a car accident or something. And I'm like, what? But there were, way more examples than that. But, yeah, I don't know. That always... bugged me / rubbed me the wrong way. I don't know. I hope that doesn't make me seem like a bad person for
she is
not caring.
Sending a very, very long text.
Oh fuck! Really?
I don't think she appreciated what I said.
You can read it.
She hasn't sent anything yet.
Oh, I thought you said she sent
for a really
long
long time.
text.
I don't think she detected that as sarcasm.
Okay, well, fucking.
This should go well.
Yeah, it'll be fun. Keep us posted. You know what? I'm actually excited to. Well, let's turn this into the Joe Rogan podcast really quick because I want to talk about a fight real quick.
A fight?
Yeah. Do you know that KSI and Logan Paul are apparently having this huge, pay-per-view fighting match?
I don't know one of those people.
So KSI is another, big YouTube vlogger or whatever. He's British. He's African-American. He's been on the platform longer, I'm pretty sure. But they had one of those pre-fight press conferences, that they have in the UFC or whatever. McGregor's done them and whatever. It's basically just shit talking, and the whole thing was just a bunch of. It was like a stadium filled with like prepubescent teenagers.
Oh my god!
All on KSI's side because it was in London and KSI's from the UK, so obviously he's
KSI a big
advantage. Dude? He is actually huge, and he's done fights before. So you should probably
kick the shit out of him.
I really think he will kick the shit out of Logan Paul.
Oh, it hasn't happened yet.
Yeah, it happens. The press conference, the pre-shit talk press conference happened, but the fight itself happens next
press
month.
Conference?
Yeah.
Wait.
So, what are you confused about?
There's 2 fights? There's Jake Paul and Logan Paul?
Yeah, so Jake Paul's the lower ticket fight, and Logan Paul is the headliner. Huh. I was confused about that as well. I didn't know Jake Paul was fighting.
Why doesn't Logan Paul have lips?
That's a really important question.
That's going to be the defining factor because you can't punch him and pop his lip open because he doesn't have any.
That's a really good question. I mean, that's a really good
the
point.
People that are fighting these 2 idiots look serious as shit.
Like...
I don't think they know that this is a fake fight.
Like
it's like that moment in Rocky.
So that's the question, right? Is this a fake publicity stunt?
Either way, it doesn't matter.
Either way, they're both going to make like a shit ton.
I really hope he just
probably.
fucking beats the brakes off of this kid.
Yeah, and so the thing about the press conference that was so weird is that it was fucking brutal. And it was just KSI talking shit, like not even just talking shit, but getting way, way, way too personal. He talked about
what did he say?
He talked about Chloe Bennett, the girl Logan Paul is dating now from Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. And he was like, you should like let me show her what a real man feels like. And all this like weird shit. And then like the audience of like fucking prepubescent boys started chanting, she's a hoe, she's a hoe. And it was like really fucked up actually. And then he started shit talking his parents, his dad and his mom and whatever. And every time Logan Paul tried to, I can't believe I'm like kind of defending Logan Paul here, but I'm not. Every time he tried to like shoot shit back, basically, he would get shut down like so quickly.
Shut down? What do you mean, like talked over?
Like KSI would just talk over him, just like yell at him.
I love that.
It's crazy. Like you should watch the video because KSI is like standing up and like getting up in his face, and Logan Paul's just sitting down. He should have like stood up or something, but whatever.
This guy's fucking jacked.
Yeah, they do just fucking jack, and I don't know what Logan Paul has been doing to train because he doesn't look.
I mean, he used to be a wrestler in high school, I think, right?
Yeah, but I don't even know what kind of fighting they're doing in this technically.
Logan Paul body versus KSI body.
Stat comparison.
They're both pretty fucking ripped, but KSI is way bigger than him.
Yeah, KSI is way bigger.
Is he taller?
I'm pretty sure, yeah. If not, maybe like slightly shorter, but he's like wider, you know?
They're both like beefy boys. I'm not going to say that they're not, but like...
Yeah.
KSI's an actual boxer?
Yeah, I think so.
What the fuck is Logan doing? Why would he agree to this?
He's just making money. That's
publicity.
The thing. It is straight up for publicity. And KSI's little brother is the one fighting Jake Paul. So it's literally just a brothers versus brothers thing. Yeah.
Deji versus Jake Paul.
Like, it's insane. And I'm sure, like, you know, to some extent they have to both be in on it. But the thing that makes me kind of question that is that the press conference was just fucking brutal. And that after a while, Logan Paul just straight up, like, left early. And he was just like, all right, cool. Like, I don't got shit to say, so I'll see you guys, like, August 9th or whatever. And then after the fact, like, all those prepubescent boys, like, went out into the streets of London and just, like, started climbing at shit. And it looked like a riot, honestly. Like, it looked like protest, like, riot footage. But it wasn't. It was just, like, dumbass teenage boys, like, fucking shit up in the streets for no goddamn reason. And then someone like posted a video of like them like fucking up a car, and they were like, yo, we're fucking up Logan Paul's car here. We don't give a fuck, man. And I was like, okay, good job recording yourself committing a crime, dumbass.
Way to incriminate yourself. But I'm looking at the video. Maybe the pictures were just more generous with KSI, but Logan Paul looks a lot bigger than him in this video.
Which one are you looking at?
KSI looks somewhat skinny, if I'm honest.
Are you looking at the
Why am I summarizing this like it actually matters?
I to be honest with you, I would watch it. I would watch
just for the satisfaction of
I feel like a lot of people are gonna hate.
I'm not sure he'll win though. KSI looks pretty small.
I don't know. It's all about the ground game, Patrick. You know, we don't know what these fighters' ground game really looks like when they're paired up against each other. And you know, they come from different fighting backgrounds and different styles. Okay, I need a. I can't believe I'm gonna go deep on this. I'm gonna look up.
Fuck. And there's the fucking Logan Paul's dad off in the corner, looking like a homeless man.
Yeah, he was literally like, he was there while KSI was talking shit about him. And to be fair, Logan Paul's dad's kind of fucking weird and has done weird shit in videos.
They're all so weird. This is just a battle of weird. Okay,
so KSI, according to
why would he do this for him?
This wiki, it's both. They're both just trying to make money.
Yeah, but this is really KSI doing a favor, right?
I don't know. I don't know who's a bigger YouTuber. Oh, actually, probably Logan Paul, since you've never heard of him. But so KSI is 6 foot. And he weighs 70 to 72 kilograms. I don't know what that is.
It's like 160 something, 50, 150.
70 kilograms into pounds. That's 154 pounds?
Yeah.
What the fuck? That's light.
Yes, it is. I'm thinking that Logan's probably closer to 200.
What the fuck? Here, Logan Paul. These guys are fucking small.
I don't think Logan's that small. He looks fucking huge when I'm looking at him.
Logan Paul is tall.
He's also really tall, big, like body-wise.
Okay, according to this website, Stars Unfolded, he is 6'2" and 181 pounds.
Heavier than him.
Yeah, heavier and bigger. So, I mean, I guess that's
Why is he a wrestler, though? Wrestlers just shouldn't be tall.
I don't know. That's weird. I mean, I'm sure there's so many fucking videos about Logan Paul, height, weight, body statistics.
People are trying to find this out. This is what matters when you walk into a fight.
Yeah, honestly.
I know it's just going to be like a shit throwing contest. And
KSI has done a fight before with another YouTuber. I forgot his name. KSI fight.
The Weller guy.
Yeah, versus Joe Weller. I don't know who ended up winning. Oh, so it's boxing. It looks like because they did a boxing match. Okay. And that was a huge event because 1.3 million people ended up watching it. I think live concurrently, which is like an insane number. Yeah, millions watch. YouTube stars, hundreds of thousands. Yeah, they were apparently shit talking each other and then turned it into like a real thing, which is similar to how the Logan Paul thing happened. God damn, I'm trying to figure out who won. Well, I don't know how big. Oh yeah, so KSI won handily by technical knockout in the third of 6 rounds. Okay.
Damn.
KSI is a gamer turned rapper. I guess I vaguely.
And now he's a professional fighter.
No joke. I think KSI actually used to make Minecraft videos. Like I think
you can say that about fucking every YouTuber now. That's everybody.
I think that's how he started, and now he's turned into like this hard ass motherfucker.
You know, the fantasy is that
KSI he has Minecraft. I literally just found an old Minecraft video.
The fantasy is that KSI walks in and beats the shit out of him, but I'm imagining it's a scripted thing, and they're not actually going to really be swinging at each other.
Yeah, 100%. Like, I mean, again, as I said before, the only thing that makes me question that is that the press conference was pretty brutal and one-sided. So I don't know if that was off-script or on-script or what. But I don't doubt for a second that this event was definitely like orchestrated between the two of them with the explicit goal of making money for the both of them, you know? So I am down to watch it. But here's the catch is that the Joe Weller KSI fight was free to live stream.
But this is pay-per-view.
And this is pay-per-view on YouTube, which I didn't even know YouTube had that feature, but it's $8 to watch it. And as far as pay-per-view goes, obviously that's incredibly cheap because like some of the like Pacquiao and Floyd Mayweather fights and stuff get into like the hundreds of dollars. So we'll see how this one goes. I'm curious to know if people care enough to pay that or if they'll just
I want to know if it's stupid. If it's stupid because he's an idiot. He's a cunt, Logan. I don't know anything about KSI, but just by the fact that I am ignorant of any crimes that he may have committed on YouTube, that I'm in his corner. But I just want them to have an actual fight and just kick the shit out of each other.
Yeah.
Because that's way more interesting than having like a scripted thing. I wonder if this is sort of like the roast of Justin Bieber. It was sort of a redemption thing that Logan was going to take his licks.
Yeah.
And, I mean, Justin was going to take his licks and be like, you know, at the end of the day, I'm sorry for what I've done, so I'm going to let people make fun of me, you know?
Oh, Joe Weller's only 5'6" and 71 kilograms. So he weighs as much as KSI, but he's like 6 inches shorter.
The height gives you the reach.
Yeah. Oh, on this website it says he's 5'8" and 167.5 pounds. So I don't know. I don't know how websites like this even get that information.
Well, they could go on their Instagram and say, oh, I cut weight today and I lost 10 pounds. I was 170 before, something like that.
Oh, maybe. I wonder if they go.
I know Logan talks about how much his weight. Because I remember when I didn't think he was insane, I went on his Instagram after Vine was deleted or something like that. And he was talking about, oh, you know, here's a picture of him with in the mirror. And he said, oh, it's all water weight. And he was like 180 or something like that, he said.
What the fuck is water weight anyways? Is that literally just from the water in your body?
I'm not 100% sure, but it's got to do with what's in your stomach.
Huh. I'll take you for your word.
I'm gonna Google it.
Yeah, go for that. I think... Hang on, let me get a firm date on when this fight is happening.
Nutrition and dietetics. Water weight gain is the retention of fluid. In medical terms, it is referred to edema. It's not tissue weight, meaning it's not fat or muscle, it's fluid. Water weight gain occurs for many reasons and can last for a few hours or even a few days depending on your body and the situation.
Yeah.
For example, body fat contains approximately 10% water, while muscle is approximately 75% water. In general, men should have a total body water percentage between 50 and 65%, while the ideal range for women is between 45 and 60%. You know how, like, Hugh Jackman, maybe you've heard of this, when he was on those, like, the days when he would shoot, like, the shirtless scenes, he wouldn't drink water for an entire 24 hours prior, so that his muscles would look all striated and, you know, like visceral and stuff like that.
That's crazy.
I didn't know the water weight.
Didn't know that was a thing. Okay, so apparently, according to this, the first KSI fight is on August 25th, 2018 in the UK, while the second fight is scheduled for February 2019. It'll take place at an undecided venue in the US. That seems like a far apart. Seems like a pretty big gap in between fights. I don't know if that's typical or not for things like this, but I don't know. It seems like it should be like one weekend and then the weekend after. Because I feel like depending on how the first one goes, people might not care to watch the second one.
Are you talking about like they have the first fight and then the next fight within hours?
Within like a few days at least. But the way it's scheduled right now is that the first fight and the second fight are
same day.
Like, no, they're 5 months apart, like 6 months apart.
With UFC, they do it either in the same day or the same week.
Right? That's like how I feel like it should happen. But I think for spectacle fights like this, I don't know why it would make sense to have them farther apart. Like, the first one was in August. First? The KSI Logan Paul fight is August 25th, and then they're having
do that way.
They're having a rematch February 2019. Yeah, so I have no idea. That's just weird. I don't know. If anyone knows why that is the way it is, or if that's even correct, like, feel free to let me know. Because
as you guys can see, we're kind of picking these popcorn topics.
Well, actually, I did want to talk about this because it seemed kind of interesting. Logan Paul versus KSI. Let me just double check.
We don't take this shit seriously.
I think I'm gonna watch it.
Watch it? Well, I mean, yeah.
Like, I will. What is August 25th like a weekend? I could see myself doing that on a weekend night with some buds and just like fucking around.
I'd fuck with it.
Yeah. Oh, it's on a Saturday. Yeah, we should do that.
When is it?
It's on a Saturday, August 25th.
August 25th.
Yeah. I'm very down.
August 25th. Oh, cool.
I know Philip DeFranco said he wanted to do a like live reaction stream to it. Which
Philip DeFranco?
Yeah.
What does he do?
You don't know who Philip DeFranco is?
I know who he is. It's just why would he make a video about it? Does he make videos now?
Yeah, he does videos every fucking day. He has his new show. But yeah, it's August 25th, 7 p.m. Okay, that's exactly what I thought. Yeah, so it's the same thing. So it's right. I had to double check. Okay, so cool. We'll keep an eye out for that. And I am in KSI's corner, I guess you could say.
Has he done anything sinful?
I don't know. And I'm really worried that someone's going to be like, you guys should know that KSI once killed a baby with his bare hands. And I'm like, oh, fuck, I didn't know KSI fucking crushed babies with his bare hands. Who would have guessed? You know, he doesn't look like that kind of guy.
It's a pretty roundabout way to perform an abortion.
Well, I don't think it's technically an abortion because the baby's already, like, out, you know? It's at that point, it's just, I guess we would just call that murder. No, the technical term is infanticide. Infanticide. I don't know. Someone do a dictionary check for me, but that's about right, I'm sure. Not saying KSI is a infanticider, just saying he might have some skeletons in the closet that I don't know about. I'm sure if I Google right now KSI scandal, some fucking shit's gonna come up. Watch this.
Were you like
watch me regret everything
tax fraud or something?
Honestly, tax fraud wouldn't even be that bad. I'd still be in his corner. YouTuber KSI dumped by Microsoft after Xbox One launch. What did he do? YouTube urged to remove KSI videos for trivialization of rape. Oh, that's a bad one.
Well,
women's groups call for advertisers to boycott internet star. He's been accused of trivializing rape amid pressure for firms to distance themselves by coalition of women's groups. Oh, because he denigrates victims of sexual violence and propagates the misogynistic views of women by calling them sluts.
Yeah, I hope they both get fucking knocked out by a barrel of monkeys.
Days after the publication of KSI's debut book, I Am a Bellend, the women's groups are calling for YouTube to remove 22-year-olds' quote-unquote rape-face videos. What the fuck is that? The videos show the star in a variety of settings, turning to camera with a menacing expression and making sexually suggestive gestures. Oh. I'm
more concerned about calling rape victims sluts.
In another YouTube video published in August 2014, KSI asks a page 3 model about her sex life while repeatedly calling her a slut in the voiceover. Jesus Christ. 3 years ago, KSI was banned from attending Eurogamer Expo in the UK's biggest video game show as a consequence of his sexually inappropriate behavior towards women. Okay. Looks like I was exactly right that KSI would do the kind of shit that I'm sure that he...
Now I hope a third YouTuber enters the arena and beats the shit out of both of them. Can we send in PewDiePie?
A new challenger approaches.
We're just going to have all these, like, what's the word? Problematic people just piling into the ring, beating the shit out of each other in a giant, like, cartoon cloud with stars coming out.
Put all the shitty YouTubers in a ring. Battle Royale.
Who would win? Probably one of the workout YouTubers.
Yeah, definitely. Well, KSI fits into that. KSI would probably last a long time. PewDiePie doesn't do anything but sit in a chair all day and dyes his hair, so pretty sure he would get knocked out pretty early on. Who else is problematic? Oh, Joey Salads.
He's just a fucking annoying cunt.
Yeah. Who's the fucking... This is the crazy guy who just came back to YouTube after... He does a bunch of, like, social experiment prank videos. And he had, like, some big event where he was, like, obsessed with meeting Drake recently. Oh, God, the name...
Oh, did you see the Daddy-O-5 is back?
Oh, yeah, throw in Daddy-O-5 in there. Does he get to fight with his whole family, though?
He's using them as weapons.
Like, he uses his children as weapons. That's a special ability.
Child abuse cyclone.
PewDiePie just calls you the N-word in a like rage, and it really like hurts your feelings.
Oh, dude! In the new BNHA episode, they came up with their ultimate attacks. It was fucking awesome. And Bakugo, he usually explodes things with just his entire hand, but he focused it to one point, and it's just a giant laser that comes out of it. It's so fucking cool.
Oh, Fuslietube. Fuslietube is who I'm talking about, who is the crazy guy who did social experiment prank videos about like fake Muslim bomb prank and
that's hilarious.
Yeah, all that fucking shit. And he's just really cringy. He was on this podcast yelling at Sam Pepper, who's also a piece of shit. I think he like sexually assaulted someone. And he like called him a beta and said that he was an alpha and like all this other weird fucking shit. Like Fusietube's just a huge asshole. So throw Fuslietube in there. throw...
Fucking Elon Musk. Can we talk about him and his dumbass?
Why not? Throw him in there. Throw Elon Musk.
Not even. Like, he's going to show up with, like, a hovercraft and, like...
He'll show up in, like, a Hulkbuster armor or something.
That's very generous. He doesn't design shit. He invented a child coffin to send all those fucking... Oh, man.
Well, okay, so we talked about this. We talked about this a little bit before. He called a guy, one of the Thai divers, a pedophile. So fuck him. And you know, the whole submarine thing is like pretty laughable, and it's a meme now. But I saw this. He posted, and you sent this to us as well. That he was like asked to keep developing the submarine by someone from the Thai government or something.
It was one of the divers.
Yeah, so like they were welcoming of his help, basically.
Which of course we're gonna say yes. There's a tapped resource we can bring in. I'm not. Why would you turn away help?
Yeah,
that does not say that Elon Musk. Yes, your surliness. Bring on all your Promethean gifts. That's not at all what the email said. It's just like, yeah, absolutely, keep working on it.
Yeah, 100%. So, part of me is like, you're right. You know, it's not. There's nothing wrong inherently with helping, but the way he did it. Well, let's do it before he even called the guy a pedo, because that's obviously where the line is crossed.
And then he doubled.
But people were making fun of him for it before that, right? So why were we?
Pixelated Boat was fucking every day making fun of him.
I mean, people are honestly like roasting the shit out of him.
It was some of the funniest content I've seen on Twitter in a long time. Funny. Put the Thai kids back in the cave so I can rescue them.
Like, thanks Elon for trying to help. I just think the way he went about it, when he was constantly like tweeting about it,
it's
and responding to every little thing.
Give a shit about those kids.
Yeah, I think
he thinks he's Iron Man.
Yeah, he definitely drew a little too much attention to himself and kind of made it. He did kind of turn it into a publicity stunt by like posting a fucking video of the sub and stuff, and like, there's nothing inherently wrong with that. It's just like it had a whole air of like kind of skeeziness and attention grabbing, where he just kept like throwing out random ass ideas to like save the kids. He'd be like, "Ooh, what if we bored a hole like through the mountain to like get to the kids or something?" And he like talked about like the physics and shit about it or something, and like the equipment they need.
We were talking about this on Xbox for like 3 hours, just laughing our asses off, just like, I'm Elon Musk, I'm going to drop an ODST pod on the cave and then collapse the entire network of tunnels and then destroy the world.
He's just so fucking whatever, man. Like
his fucking day is he wakes up in his giant house, snorts a fucking line of crushed up Ambien, says hello to his goth girlfriend, and then takes off in his hovercraft, and then he just tweets. That's all he does. He goes like, he retweets things that are like praising his new Tesla 3. That was amazing when he said he called some dude a pedo, and then people were like criticizing the shit out of him, and he was just like, I'm just gonna retweet all these people saying that the new Tesla 3 is good, dude.
Like, I can imagine him in his office, sitting in his fucking like big ass executive office, surrounded by all of his like inventions that he like has sex with or something. Mm-hmm. And like he's just on his phone constantly like drafting tweets, like trying to like come up with stuff to talk about.
Do you think
like a bunch of worried engineers come into his office being like, Elon, the cars, they're catching fire and they're exploding, what do we do?
Good.
He's like, good. It's not a flaw, it's a feature.
Get a catapult and launch them into the cave.
If they're in danger, maybe I'll be able to save them. Okay, done talking about Elon Musk. Unless you have anything else you want to add. Okay.
What's his girlfriend's name?
His girlfriend's name is
Halsey?
It's not Halsey. Halsey's dating Machine Gun Kelly, which is a whole different fucking weird ass topic.
G-Eazy Light?
G-Eazy Light. No, it's... I'm gonna just look this up. Her name is on the tip of my tongue.
Morbid?
It's like a weird name. She's a weird... Oh, it's Grimes.
Grimes.
Yeah, she is a very alternative, weird, abstract music kind of artist.
She's a goth.
Yeah, basically. He's literally got like a goth girlfriend, which is... I want to know how they met. I'd love to know that story.
Well, maybe he's into her music. And he had her
Maybe?
shipped to him.
He made a Grimes submarine to come to his
He
house.
launched a rocket and
Launched a rocket to her house, came out, and he was like, "Get in."
he created one of those child coffins the size of her and then sent it to her. And it was like the
And
perfect dimensions
she was
for her to
really
lay
into
down.
it. Yeah, she's really into it because she likes, she's into like death and imagery like that.
Suffocation.
Anyways, yeah. So, in a way, they weirdly complement each other. Who knows?
He's gonna be a supervillain.
Yeah, it's weird because a lot of people are mad at Grimes because she's like this very like I guess you could say woke progressive artist beforehand, and Elon Musk is very much not that. So now a bunch of people are mad at Grimes for dating Elon Musk and just being like, "Oh, you're not doing shit. Like you are dating someone, therefore supporting someone who goes against all the shit you supposedly used to stand for, like." Being against capitalism in the system and all this other, whatever else they cared about. But yeah, Elon Musk is very much not what I think of when I think of an activist. And Grimes, obviously being on the far creative spectrum of things, was more about that. But that's why it's such a weird pairing there. But who the fuck knows? Maybe he's making her robot cats or something to take
Or a
care
giant
of.
Gundam.
I'd love to know what is the craziest thing Elon Musk has ever seriously proposed that his company
He
builds.
proposed a time machine and he was like, I want you to make this. He's like, we can't make that. He's like, I need to go fucking back in time and save those kids or else you'll die. And he's holding a flamethrower.
What if he's like, I need you to make 12 androids that are about 4 feet tall and have
Can you
like,
make
Asian
androids
features?
that look like these 10 boys?
It's like,
Why?
that's oddly specific.
Well, you see, I just wanted to make a simulation where we have the same environment as that cave had to prove that my child coffin would save them.
Like, okay, if we can't do that, can you at least get some game developers in here? We're going to make a virtual reality experience. I need you to design a level that's a cave in a mountain, and then let's say it's a maze of sorts, and then at the end of the maze, there's 10 children that I just stumble upon, and if I get them out, maybe I get a little bonus XP or something. And he's like, what are you talking about? Where are you getting this from?
You get a glass pitcher filled with cocaine. Can you guys make me in an infinity pool with it's just cocaine in it?
He's like, well, you see, sir, the physics of swimming in cocaine when actually he's like,
I'm sorry, what? And he's like cocking the flamethrower.
He's like, I'm sorry, I can't hear you over my fucking flamethrower we actually built and are
What's
actually
that?
selling.
My goth girlfriend is playing music too loud. What's the subject you wanted to change to?
I'm over it. What did I want to change to?
You said enough about Elon Musk.
Oh, I just don't like. I mean, no. I like talking to him about him when we're roasting.
You like talking to him?
I do talk to him and tell him how fucking annoying he is all the time. No, but I was gonna bring up that do you know who Kumail Nanjiani is?
Kumail Nanjiani.
Yeah, the actor, comedian guy on Twitter. Okay.
Did he do something wrong?
Not necessarily. I just thought this was kind of an interesting observation. But so he's on this show, Silicon Valley.
Oh yeah,
it's pretty good. I really enjoy it. There was this. I don't know if you saw. There was an actress on that show
who talked about T.J. Miller being a bully.
Yeah, and said that all the male cast members on that show like enabled him. She didn't really elaborate on what that meant exactly. But I guess it just means like you don't do anything to actively intervene in whatever bad behavior TJ Miller was doing on the show. And none of the castmates have responded to that. And I'm really curious because, especially about Kumail Nanjiani, because he's very much a, I guess you could say, woke voice or whatever. He's very much
he just seems like a nice
activist on
well.
Twitter. Yeah, like he's a very nice dude. My opinion of him is like very high in general already. But he hasn't responded to this, and I'm curious like how this story or this accusation this girl's telling kind of squares with, you know, what he was doing on the show at the time, because that kind of really goes against like this image he's built up of himself that's very like liberal, is like pro women, obviously, like all these things that I don't know. Well, according to this girl, this actress that was on the show, all of the male cast members and crew members, including the main characters, which Kumail Nanjiani is one of, were complicit in TJ Miller's bad behavior. And I guess complicit, she doesn't explain what that means, but just complicit means that they didn't do anything actively to stop it. And Kumail Nanjiani hasn't tweeted in like a day or two, which is pretty unusual for him, actually. So
he's retweeted some.
Has he? I checked.
He retweeted something about Russia.
But I think it was like a day ago, wasn't it?
I have no idea. I don't follow.
Let me check this shit. Kumail Nanjiani. Yeah, he hasn't tweeted since 2 days ago. Or no, a day ago. That was his last original tweet, and then he retweeted something from 2 days ago. So, and the rest of the cast doesn't really have a big Twitter presence, so it's hard to say what their reaction is exactly. I'm just kind of like bummed out, you know. This is like one of those things where you find out that people you have previously had pretty high respect for turn out to maybe be not as great as you think they are. I don't know if you remember this, but you know who Joss Whedon is, right?
Yeah, he's the fake feminist.
Yeah, exactly. So Joss Whedon obviously directed The Avengers, did Buffy the Vampire Slayer back in the day, and he was super pro-feminist and stuff all the time, until it came out that he had been like serially like cheating on his wife for like years and generally just being like a piece of shit. So he got off Twitter, lost some gigs, I think. But then he came right back, and he was slated to direct the Batgirl movie, which is a really weird movie to come back and be your first directing gig.
Is that weird? Is it weird that DC would pull him?
It's weird that DC would pull him. It's not weird that he would choose to do that. But he's not doing it anymore, which I guess is the more important thing.
A gaslighting psycho to direct the Batgirl movie, and my 12-year-old son is going to design the Aquaman poster. And that I don't care about anything else but those two things.
Aquaman poster. Someone should Photoshop in the Thai boys and the Aquaman poster and send it to Elon Musk, and then maybe he'll actually build Atlantis.
He's going to be like, sharks. I could create robot sharks.
Create robot sharks to kill these real sharks.
Like, companies that are making really interesting things. Like every GIF I see of Boston Dynamics is just so interesting.
Those guys are great. Although they're probably going to make the robots that ended up killing us in the.
I don't know. They're fucking not.
I mean, their robots are take a lot of abuse. Like all the videos they show are like, here's how much we can treat a robot like shit, and they just get right back up. And I was like,
I'm not sure that they have a capacity to understand what being treated like shit is. It's just a function of like, all right, I need to go get something, and me being pushed backwards is preventing that. So after I, recover, I'm gonna keep going. I don't think it has any capacity to see what's going on.
They don't have that function now, but what's to say they won't in the future?
How will that benefit them completing their task?
I think it's just if you give that robot artificial intelligence, like, and artificial intelligence is getting pretty good. Because there's some fucking crazy fuckers out there like Elon Musk who think like, oh, we can make something as close to a human as possible and it'll be worth it.
He was one of the people who said we should not do that.
Well, I'm not saying it's gonna be Elon Musk, but it's gonna be a crazy motherfucker like Elon Musk is what I'm saying. There's gonna be someone out there who wants to
Stephen Hawking said
create consciousness.
It's one of the most dangerous ideas in the world.
Basically, someone like the old guy from Westworld who's like, I'm gonna make androids and they're gonna be better than humans and they're gonna take over the world because humans are some shit, but my perfect creation is pure.
Have you seen the new season?
Godlike. I am a few episodes from finishing it. Yeah.
Was it any good?
It's good. It's pretty confusing at first. There's a lot of time skipping and stuff, which is annoying. But I would say it's really good overall.
Awesome.
Like characters, writing and stuff is still good, so I'm a big fan of it. So I would recommend watching it. Okay. I'm done talking about the dystopian future. Let's go to something a little more positive and look at some fan things.
We need to get that art off of that fucking thing and post it. I'm so lazy.
We actually have kind of a backlog of fan art that we need to do, so you should
Did that person reply and say we could do that? I don't remember. Here, while you go through the mail, I'm gonna confirm some stuff and then post some stuff.
Okay, so I'll start from the bottom. No. Here we go. Oh, is this the old one? Okay, well, yeah, this. If you go to the bottom, Stacy says that we can post her stuff, and we already. Well, closer to the bottom of the inbox. So this question is from Ellie. She asks, what makes you guys really happy, or at least warms your heart, especially Pat? You just seem so grumpy all the time. But also especially Yaman, because you seem so nice and friendly like a corgi. I'm sure Yaman would love to hear that, but he's not fucking here. Also, would you say that doing the podcast has helped you guys stay in touch, maintain your friendship? Liddy on the titty, and hope y'all are doing well. Well, that's a good saying. What warms my heart? What makes me happy? Well, since I was having a pretty rough day before this, I'm feeling a lot better after having done this, because I almost wasn't going to. So I'm feeling good. A little bit. Yeah, I got to vent a little bit. Talking it out actually, did help me. So, that was good, and that kind of ties into what you were saying. Was doing the podcast has helped us stay connected. I would say that's definitely true. And on top of that, just getting on Xbox with each other is very helpful. So yeah, wouldn't trade it for the world.
What was the question?
It's what makes you guys happy, or at least warms your heart. Also, would you say that doing the podcast has helped you guys stay in touch / maintain your friendship?
Oh yeah, yes. The second one, what warms my heart? Well, I don't know.
Coke Zero.
Yeah.
Maybe like
seeing my sister's
bagel.
Dog. Oh,
bagel
nieces.
pan fried and butter.
Oh, I haven't had one of those in a while.
Really?
Yeah, I've been eating a lot of chicken, brown rice, carrots.
God damn, you're a healthy bitch.
I'm a big boy.
I had a healthy meal the other day, but it took forever to fucking cook because my chicken was like way too thick. And so when I took it off the pan and I cut through it, it was still raw in the center. So I was like, well, gotta throw you back on and basically burn you. But yeah, no, I would say doing this podcast has definitely helped us, stay in touch. I didn't even know Yaman before the podcast, so that friendship basically was born out of this, and that's been incredibly valuable to me. And besides doing this, obviously, I really like animals. I guess that really warms my heart. Dogs, and I have some cats too. I'm at my mom's house, cat sitting for her while she's on vacation. My cat's actually right behind me right now, taking a nap. He looks real fucking cute. I would move my laptop, but that would damage some things. I guess there's a lot of wires running. But yeah, big on animals, big on good food, big on I really love, and this is kind of something you learn to appreciate as your life gets busier and crazier, is when you just have like a week full of not having time for yourself. You're just constantly like either working, seeing other people, driving, going to places, doing things, and then let's say like it's a Sunday or something and you have no plans whatsoever. Nothing feels better than knowing you just have an entire day empty to yourself and you can do whatever you want. Like that is like one of the few glorious feelings in the world. I just wake up late, eat whatever I want, watch whatever I want, and just have a lazy day, I guess you could say. So that's what I love about that. So thank you for your question, Ali. Really appreciate it.
Wait, was I supposed to answer that one too?
No, you already answered it. What warms your heart?
You didn't move on to a new one. Thank you, Alex.
Bitch ass.
Thank you. Ellie, no.
Did you get the stuff you need to post?
I posted it.
Oh, okay, cool. Look at that later.
La Nina, well, there's no Enye, so I'm assuming it's not an Enye. La Nina Gutierrez says, what are your thoughts on Netflix originals? Like, all their new movies, TV shows, etc. Because ever since Stranger Things, they think that they can produce anything now and it'll become as big as it, but nothing has really reached that potential. How do you feel about it? Do you even got Netflix? Never mind. Let's talk about Hulu or Amazon TV or whatever it's called. I like most of it. Some of it. I've watched a lot of Netflix recently.
So Netflix's strategy is throw whatever at the wall and see what sticks. But the thing is that most of what they're throwing at the wall is shit. If you look at the Rotten Tomato scores for a lot of their originals, especially their movies, they're really fucking bad at movies.
The Cloverfield Paradox.
They're just so bad. They're really bad. And a lot of the time you see Netflix original on something on Netflix, it's not a Netflix original. They buy the distribution rights, usually from other countries. They do this a lot with foreign shows, especially. They'll take like some British shows or some German, other foreign language shows, buy the distribution rights in America for cheap, throw some subtitles and a really shitty dub on that.
Black Mirror's pretty good. Voltron's really, really good.
Black Mirror is good. Voltron is good too. Like, there's some like actually genuinely good stuff that it seems like they're trying with. But when they kind of basically just import shows from other countries and throw their label on it, that's just like shitty.
So
the only time that's actually
animes are really bad.
Yeah. Well, the only time that kind of thing has actually worked is with Peaky Blinders, for example. They just bought it from the BBC in the UK and like threw it over here with their label on it, and that show's actually really good. I think the only shows they actually produce themselves are like Stranger Things. I know House of Cards is made by Sony as well.
Oh, thank God that thing's coming back.
Yeah.
How do you think they're going to do that?
I think they're just going to write him out, say that like he died or something. I don't know.
Do you think they're going to have him in that episode, though, where he gets written up?
Probably not. I think they want to avoid showing him. Yeah, he's radioactive. Don't want to show him at all.
So is Scarlett Johansson.
Just get Scarlett Johansson to play Kevin Spacey's old role. But I think that no matter what they do, I think they're just going to have to kind of like embrace the awkward situation they're in and just be like, there'll probably be some light fourth wall break thing where they're like, yeah, he was a real piece of shit. We know. We have to keep doing the show without him. This is how it is. Goodbye. And just kind of roll with it, you know. Can't dwell on it too much or else it kind of brings the whole show down. What else is on Netflix? The Marvel shows are actually pretty good for the most part. I've been watching Luke Cage season 2 and I'm almost done with it.
It's not bad.
I'm surprised at how good it is.
Mm-hmm.
I'm surprised at how much the villain Bushmaster, so good. I think he's so interesting and like, I don't know if it's like, I think his like accent and like presence is really like intimidating. Mm-hmm. Like I'm genuinely like scared of this guy.
Jamaican accents are fucking sultry.
Yeah, like that dude, he's just got like such a swagger to him that was like, it reminds me of Cottonmouth in season 1, but they didn't kill him off halfway through, and I'm so happy about that. I'm so happy they actually maintained a good villain for more than half of the season now.
Netflix also has every season of Parts Unknown and No Reservations. So
yes, God, I love that show. I need a night when
easily the most watchable show in the world.
Yeah, every night when I come home from work, I only usually have time to watch like one episode of something before I go to bed, and lately it's been Luke Cage, but sometimes I'm just like, fuck it, I'm just gonna watch some Anthony Bourdain and just chill out. And like I've always am glad I made that choice, just because I don't know, he really just kind of like opens your eyes to a lot of shit and like makes me want to like travel. Like I watched his episode on Hong Kong recently.
Oh yeah,
and I'm just like, this is so interesting. I want to go to Hong Kong so badly now. So I've been like on a YouTube kick of like watching videos explaining like Hong Kong to me and just being like, yeah, it used to be this British colony for 100 years, but like then in the 90s it went back to China, but not really. It's kind of like a separate thing, but also technically China. It's weird, but they also speak English there. It's a bizarre situation, and culturally it's just such an interesting blend of like Western and Eastern stuff. So it's something I would love to go see for myself. But yeah, that's about. Anthony Bourdain is not a Netflix original show.
No, it's not, but it is on Netflix.
It is on Netflix, so check it out if you have not. What's this from? Carissa asks, what mediocre activities do you wish were events in the Olympics? Also, which event would you take gold in? I feel like you have a better answer to this than me.
I'm just thinking about all the things that I think I'm good at, and I know for a fact there's someone better than me.
Mediocre activities?
Yeah.
I would say I would probably participate in aggressively fast walking. Actually, no, fast walking is like a real competitive thing. No, fast walking is a real competitive thing, actually. So I'd probably suck at that.
Navigating groups of people on the sidewalk.
Yeah, navigating groups of people
Like
on the
Frogger.
sidewalk. Yeah. Jaywalking.
Oh,
Really
there's
good
such
at
a fucking.
jaywalking.
I hate fucking jaywalking so much because people do it wrong and they ruin it for
Yeah,
everybody. If you're jaywalking, you fucking sprint. I've talked about this before, but you don't go fucking. Oh, I'm just gonna take my time because.
Even when I have the right of way, for some reason I always feel like I need to like fast walk across
You're a good person.
the thing.
Also, you do not always need the crosswalk button. Sometimes you can just sprint across because you have a moment.
Yeah, I do that most of the time.
And if you push that button, you've just locked people down for 30 seconds. And 30 seconds is a long time when you can see the ticker going down.
Yeah. Well, the thing is, most crosswalks are synced to a red light. And that red light is going to go no matter what.
Most.
So when that red light is on, the crosswalk will be on regardless. So
Some people push it the moment before the red light would stop.
Does that make the red light last longer?
30 seconds longer.
I didn't know that. That's weird. Okay. Well, yeah, mine would probably be jaywalking or navigating groups of people. Maybe. I'm trying to think of like activities that I do.
I'm really good at cleaning.
But you're good at cleaning?
Mm-hmm.
I'm really good at brushing my teeth. If that makes sense.
It doesn't at all.
I just brush my teeth pretty aggressively, and I have a water flosser that I use as well that like is amazing and knocks shit out in between your teeth, and it's very satisfying. So I really enjoy that. So thank you for that, Carissa. Do we have any? Oh, let me go to YouTube comments. We also have some podcast reviews to like breeze through, but before we do that, I do want to go here. Let's see. Anniversary special. Oh, we gotta talk about all the nice art we got for the 1 year too. Let's see.
All the art. Oh, it was just Noodle Bun.
Yeah, I think we got I don't remember if we had another one as well. Okay, but whatever. Juliana says, you know how Patrick calls bodies meat bags? My mom just referred to our bodies as our soul buckets. Just thought I should share.
You don't have a soul, though.
True. Souls aren't real. This is from Christy, who always leaves very thoughtful, insightful comments. I knew Patrick was a model, but I didn't know he was a personal trainer. Nice. I want to get more into actual weightlifting. I do mainly cross-country running, like 35 to 40 miles a week. Jesus Christ.
That's
I would
a lot.
Die after like 2 miles. So props to you. But I'm afraid to get muscular arms. Don't be afraid. Be a badass. Literally just get shredded and crush your enemies. My whole family is really dismissive and mean about girls with muscular arms, but I feel disproportionate just building my legs, and I think definition is nice. Definitely, you were 100% right about that. Do whatever you feel is best. Fuck your family, and literally just crush their tiny heads with your huge biceps.
There's also this, girls have been taught that if they touch a dumbbell, then they'll get huge, giant arms. It's really, really, really hard to build that kind of muscle. You will get definition, like, after months of working out. So it's not like you're just gonna balloon like the moment you touch your weights. So it's gonna take time. Do not be afraid to lift weights.
Yeah, like just go for it.
I wish it was that way. I wish it was just instant.
Maybe for some people who have like 0% body fat and can be as easy as that, but
no, it's actually harder for people with 0% body fat
really
to build muscle because they have nothing to build on.
Oh, okay. Also, the house test ultimately means nothing in comparison to where a real sorting hat would put you, and the sorting hat takes where you want to go into consideration. So basically, you ask for Gryffindor, the sorting hat may oblige. Personality is still a factor, but it's like life. You make the ultimate choice what path you take. I know that I'd probably still want to be in Hufflepuff, which is the best house to be in because they won the system. I don't know what that means. Put all the impulsive people in Gryffindor, intellectuals and easily burned out peeps in Ravenclaw, emo racists / cunning politicians in Slytherin.
Shut up.
And the rest of us will be chilling over here in Hufflepuff.
Well, me and the fucking Slytherin people are going to get Professor McGonagall to buy us alcohol, and then we're going to get drunk.
Because I value kindness, hard work, and loyalty more than any other traits.
A brew a potion that turns into Jack Daniels.
Treat other people how you'd want to be treated. And do everything like someone's watching. That's kind of creepy.
I'm going to figure out which spell makes an atomic explosion.
Just learn how to roll blunts
Blow
with
up
your
the
wand.
Hufflepuff dormitory.
Also, I didn't mean to imply that everyone in Slytherin is a racist, so don't get butthurt. I was also almost a Slytherin myself. What? So you're saying that you were almost a racist? Well, I'm glad you didn't turn out that way. Sleepy Patrick was also great this entire episode. Him interacting with everyone else was hilarious. Mumbling was the best part. Happy 1 year heart emoji. Thank you.
It was like a child version of myself, or just me in general.
Basically. Matthew says, when I was in the 5th grade, I had a sleepover, and while I was asleep, 2 of my friends watched porn, and my mom caught them, and my mom just told me recently, said, oh, I feel really awkward about that day. That's weird. That's if watching porn in the same room as someone is pretty fucked. This guy, did you not hear the comment I read? Did you go
that's
somewhere?
That's with my Skittles.
Oh, you're fucking with your Skittles. Well, never mind. You're gonna miss that story.
No, say it again.
Okay, when Matthew was in the 5th grade, he had a sleepover, and while he was asleep, 2 of his friends watched porn, and his mom caught them. This is something that his mom just recently told him, and now he feels really awkward whenever he remembers that day. So, kind of weird. Doozization says, those girls in your high school sure took the wrong message from Mean Girls. 2/3 of the podcast later, the drama still wasn't done. The most dramatic thing that happened with us was a straight-A student who lost it and brewed some toxic fumes in the school basement. Jesus Christ.
That sounds like fucking the Heathers movie.
Yeah. The other thing was a disgruntled kleptomaniac who confronted the girl in my class, who left him in the cafeteria, and a gym teacher had to subdue him. The teacher told a rather humorous version of that story. I don't see how that could be humorous. That seems pretty serious.
That sounds scary.
Though now that I think about it, there was a guy that got mugged in a class trip to Berlin. A girl hanged herself and nobody knew why. Okay. There was also the guy in my sister's class/school who'd been depressed for a long time, and when his girlfriend wanted some space, he drove his car into an underpass. I pass by the memorial every day on my way to uni. We Germans sure are a jolly folk, aren't we? Jesus Christ.
That was cheerful.
That escalated from chemical warfare to suicide
makes sense.
so
Germany.
quickly. Still love you guys. Patrick's cynical yet provocative attitude, Yaman's casual attitude, and Alex's ability to steer the podcast in the right direction. The banter that unites you three, all very enjoyable.
Everybody's opinion of me is just like, he hates everything, and I think that's kind of interesting.
And Yaman's just like a teddy bear that everyone loves, and I'm just like
you're like
father figure.
You're like Ida.
Ida,
and Yaman's like Midoriya, and I'm like Kachan.
Is this a fucking anime reference?
Or maybe I'm like Kirishima. Either way,
I don't know what that means.
Kachan is an angry little asshole. Ida is very direct and studious and professional, and Midoriya is just a teddy bear.
Sounds about right.
Who wants to see good done in the world.
Yeah. Okay, this is from Ian, answering your theory about Harry Potter and splitting atoms. I feel like the spell used to split an atom would be something like Sindo Atomos, as the spells in Harry Potter are derived from Latin, but I don't know.
Yeah, I put it through the Latin translation, but there's no Latin translation for atomic bomb, so unfortunately. I would be the person, like, you remember the movie when they have the Professor Horngubble or whatever, and Dumbledore's trying to like fix the memory that he has to find out what when he was Tom Riddle, what he asked the professor when he was asking about Horcruxes. What if it's me? And he's just like, Professor, if one were to create an atom bomb, what would be the translation into Latin? I was like, oh, it'd be atomic splitterburgers. It's like, atomic splitterburgers. Just blow up the entire school.
A lot of people are asking if we'll ever do a YouTube live stream to interact with fans. I think we could. That would probably be easy to do. I don't think we could do a full podcast episode like that, but it's probably some informal thing we could do, literally just with a webcam and all three of us just like sitting in front of it. That'd probably be really easy to do. So we will keep that in mind.
You're in, like, I almost said the name of the place, but you're in that same place for the next 2 weeks, right?
I am. I'll be here. Well, that's including this week, but when I come back from this weekend, I'll still be here. So we could
do it next week.
We could, actually. Okay, so everyone stay tuned for that if we
What if we record
out.
with one mic? We all sit in the same place.
If it's a live stream, it doesn't matter because I honestly don't give a shit about the quality, but I wouldn't do a whole podcast episode like that.
Why?
Because, one, these mics aren't the best, especially when it comes to like multiple people.
Shut up.
So, yeah. But whatever. live stream could happen, so stay tuned. Could happen very soon, actually. I'm gonna go through these podcast reviews, and then
I hope that old man is back.
Do we have any Insta DMs? I feel like we might have had a few.
You fucking get rid of the notifications every single time, so I don't know.
I'll fucking just check.
You just pounce on your phone every time you get a notification.
I do. Well, sometimes they come like the middle of the night, and then you get them. No, it's from Noodle Bunner. I'll take this moment to call out, not call out, but thank Noodle Bun Art especially. Not only for constantly doing fantastic work and fantastic fan art of us, which is so kind and so generous, but the one that I think it's a she we established, right? The one they did for our 1-year birthday show was amazing and is definitely my favorite so far. So thank you. Go check them out. We've linked to them on our post we make. That's at Noodle Bun Art. Go give them a follow, tell them we sent you, and go give them some love because they deserve it. Okay, so this is from the podcast reviews on iTunes. We got another kind of this isn't like super negative. I'm kind of confused about it actually. So this one is from Itchy Glow Bloke. They say that, quote, they're okay. Cool listen for passing time with some adequately funny dudes chatting about video games, popular stuff you've already seen retweeted on Twitter, their awkward life experiences, and the occasional deep debate / conversation of something in society, culture, etc. No direct topics reappear other than their weekly talk over fan mail and fan art. There's a special realness to the dynamic trio, more often just Alex and Patrick without Yaman, that is uneven in performance, yet balanced in idea. It's a bit more understood by listening. No complaints other than, of course, more Yaman. Heart emoji.
God damn it.
That went from like a... I don't know if they like the show or not.
What did they say?
Do you want to read the whole thing again?
Yes, I'm not listening.
Jesus Christ. Okay. Itchy Glow Bloke left this review. It's a 4-star review. So not totally bad. Pretty good, actually. Quote, they're okay. Cool listen for passing time with some adequately funny dudes chatting about video games, popular stuff you've already seen retweeted on Twitter. Very true. Their awkward life experiences and the occasional deep debate / conversation of something in society, culture, etc. No direct topics reappear other than their weekly talk over fan mail and fan art. There is a special realness to the dynamic trio. More often, just Alex and Patrick without Yaman, unfortunately. That is uneven in performance, yet balanced in idea. It is a bit more understood by listening. No complaints other than, of course, more Yaman heart emoji.
Wow. I actually like that a lot. That was really nice.
That felt like an outsider looking in review.
That was like a very good review for someone who was like, what is this a podcast about? And they're like, this is what it's about.
Yeah.
A couple of fucking like unbalanced weirdos.
So that's like a genuinely good critique. Like, outside looking in, like, this person has no predisposition to like us for whatever reason. And... I don't know. They're seeing stuff that I guess we can't see. So thank you, Itchy Glow Bloke, for that, and I hope you keep listening. And
Speaking
I'm sorry,
of awkward stories.
Go for it.
So I have a bunch of cuts and scrapes on my back for no reason, and I went into work for a shift and at the pool, and we had to take some lanes out. So I took my shirt off and then dove in the pool, and we had to move some stuff around. And then afterwards, I got out. And one of the people working said, what the hell is wrong with your bag? And I said, what? And then they took a picture, and it looked like Freddy Krueger attacked me. And I had just walked in front of a class of 14-year-olds who were downstairs to learn how to swim. I just felt really gross.
I think what I took away from that story is that there are some 14-year-olds that don't know how to swim. I guess I shouldn't be judgeful, but it seems
challenged.
Like... That's like that's like a kind of late age to learn how to swim, but hey, better late than never. Props to them.
I feel like if someone's mentally challenged, your first focus is teaching them other stuff before you teach them how to swim.
Were they mentally challenged actually?
Yeah, I mentioned it.
Oh, okay. I weren't sure. I thought you were proposing that as a theory.
Monster.
Fucking, I'm an ableist bitch. Call me out. Here's some other more positive reviews that we can read to stroke our egos a little bit. This one is from Juliana. This podcast is just so brilliant. These guys have such respectful and interesting conversations with so many different points of view. It is the perfect thing to listen to in any mood, on any kind of day. I love these guys on the podcast, and I strongly recommend to anyone who needs to have a good laugh and keep up with current news and issues. They're so interactive and sweet to their fans as well, which makes the podcast interesting on a personal level. This podcast is something that truly deserves to be appreciated and listened to. Keep going, guys. You're doing great. Thank you. That was so nice.
Respectful as fuck. I'm always considered the most respectful person in the world.
Take the critique with the praise, bounces out, keeps me humble but elevated at the same time. This one is from Jarek Bro. Love your podcast, and I've been rewatching your old Vines, Patrick, and it has been amazing. I have such a good time tuning stuff out for a bit to listen to your opinions and thoughts on important topics. I've learned and rethought a lot of things, and I hope to hear more of your podcasts. Have a great day, and congrats on 1 year. Thank you.
Thank you,
bro. This one is from Marissa Chess. I love this podcast. You three are the greatest trio. Much love. Heart emoji. Thank you. Thank you to all of you, and thank you especially to the kind gentlewoman or gentleman who left that good original review that gives
all
us
of them
some
are
food for thought.
They're so good when there's 3 of them. I miss Yaman. Yaman's nice. Also, Patrick kind of weird.
There's a through line to this in that we need more Yaman all the time. Patrick is weird and cynical, but that's interesting. And Alex is just there to keep things under control. So that's basically it, and I think that's good. More Yaman is always a good thing. I think we always agree.
Can't get enough of his fucking sweet cheeks.
Can't get enough of his fucking sweet lips. His precious lips pressing up against that mic.
Sweet boy.
All right, you got anything else to say?
No.
Cool. Thank you again for listening, guys, to the Prude podcast. If you enjoyed it, we're at 99 ratings on iTunes right now, so if you want to make us finally get to 100, you, that one person out there that still has not dropped us a review, drop us a review. If you want to make it all praise, we're cool with that. If you want to leave a cool critique-ful review to give us some food for thought, feel free as well. We're open to everything. If you want to follow us on Twitter or Instagram, that's at Prududes. If you want to send us an email or fan art or business inquiries, please sponsor us. Prududes@gmail.com. If you want to follow us on our personal Twitter accounts, I'm at AlexPenda97. Patrick is at PatrickShelter5, and Yaman is at its_Yaman. Bug him to get him back on the show. He appreciates the love. Thank you again for listening, guys, and we'll see you again next week.
Holy cow is short for holy coward.